Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of June 22nd, 2016. So let's get right into it. First up, we have Action Comics number 958. 2 weeks ago, we had Action Comics number 957. And it actually posed a lot of questions, which hopefully some of those get answered in this issue. But I did enjoy the Action Comics issue prior, so I'm looking forward to this one. Next up, we have Aquaman number 1. The Rebirth issue was really good, so I'm hoping that it continues with Aquaman number 1. We shall see. Next up is a title that hasn't finished yet, but will soon, and that's Cyborg number 12. Cyborg, for the most part, is an okay series. Most likely when it's finished, it will be something that I throw up on eBay. Not that it's bad, it's just, yeah. Next up, we have Detective Comics number 935. 934 was awesome. Totally and utterly worth it. I can't wait to see where Detective goes with Batman, Batwoman, and the team that's been assembled. My coworker Marshall has gotten to calling it Batman Re-Inked. So instead of, if you remember the old Batman Incorporated, this is now Batman Re-Inked. So, yeah, I prefer Batman, Batwoman, and the Outsiders, but that's just me. Next up, we have Divinity 2, number 3. I really liked the Divinities so far. The first series was really good. Looking forward to for the second one. If you hear a rumbling or a weird noise in the background, the cat is jumping on a box that has a fake plant in it, and she's trying to figure out what to do and making tons of noise and being just a jerk like most cats are. But let's get on with it. Next up is Flash number 1. If you were lucky enough to snag up a copy of Flash Rebirth, hopefully you are excited for Flash 1 as much as I am. The Rebirth issue was amazing. For those of you who didn't get it, second prints are coming, and I think even third prints are scheduled for the Flash Rebirth. So if you're looking for that, then wait for the second prints to read it. Really, really good stuff. Next up is a title that's continuing, but I think will be renumbered at some point, and that's Harley Quinn number 29. Looks like Harley Quinn's been smashed up against a window. But yeah, Harley Quinn's just a fun book overall. I enjoy it, and it's Harley. Duh. Next up is Justice League number 52. We did get issue 51 last week. Apparently there was an error in printing the newsstand copies of 51, which had this cover and this creative team on it, but the number 51 showed up in comic book stores because Diamond got them and just put them out. So this is issue 52. And yeah, so I didn't get a chance to read issue 51, but I'm gonna plow through those as soon as possible. The stack of stuff I still need to read is right here, so it's not too much, but I'm gonna be adding to that. So yeah, I think maybe I'll leave the stack there behind me, so you see how much I'm actually reading. There's actually a Power Girl trade underneath that, so it's not that much. Next up, we have Raw Array. Rye, however you want to say it, number 14, part of the 4001 AD stuff. Really, really good stuff. Been really enjoying the 4001 AD stuff, so I can't wait to see where that one goes. Next up is a book that's continuing, but we'll probably stop, and that's Robin, Son of Batman, number 13. Overall, I enjoy Robin, Son of Batman. Early stuff I really enjoyed. The newer stuff, it's been okay, but definitely the book suffered from the Batman and Robin Eternal stuff when it was crossing over, and also with We Are Robins, I believe. But for the most part, it's been okay. Next up is Suicide Squad Most Wanted, Deadshot, and Katana, number 6 of 6. We actually got our copies of number 5 in last week, so I got 2 of those to read to finish it up. It was my random pick on episode 266 tonight of the Comic Conspiracy podcast, so you should check that out, but I'll mention that later. So, next up on the pull list is Wonder Woman number 1. I really enjoyed the Rebirth issue, so I'm looking forward to checking out Wonder Woman number 1. Rucka's an amazing writer, and yeah, so looking forward to that. A bunch of variants from DC this week that I picked up, and that was the Rebirth, the variant for Action Comics 958 as the split Lex and Superman cover. Pretty cool. Next up is Aquaman number 1 variant, which I'm not too big of, but if you think of David Bowie as the character, it's not so bad. David Bowie would have been probably a good Aquaman. Next up, we have the Detective Comics number 935 variant. Awesome stuff there. Love that artwork. Then Flash number 1 had a variant. Johnson's the one that did this. Whenever I see this cover, this kind of color scheme on a Johnson artwork, I always think of, I think it's 626 of Batman, the story after Hush, Broken City. Always the color scheme always reminds me of that issue. I don't know why. And then Wonder Woman had a rebirth from Frank Cho. Did the cover for this one. Really awesome cover. So yeah. So if you're at your local shop, check out those variants. See if there's any that you want to pick up. So yeah. Next up is the read list. This is the stuff I take home to read and be current and all that wonderful stuff. So first up on the read list is Civil War II, Choosing Sides number 1. If you're getting a sense of deja vu, you are, because Civil War, the original one, had a Choosing Sides book in it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna check it out, see if it's worth it. But so far, Civil War hasn't popped for me. Yeah, but we'll see. Apparently everything's supposed to change with Civil War number 3. Next up we have Doctor Strange number 9. Really enjoying Aaron's Doctor Strange stuff. Overall, it's good. Not super great like Thor, but really enjoy it overall. Next up is The Mighty Thor, speaking of Jason Aaron, number 8. Yes, I did move my finger to read that. So yeah, hopefully we get back to a Thor story in this. We've past few issues have kind of been other stories, so I'm curious to see where that goes. Yeah. Next up is a new number 1 from Image, and it's called She-Wolf. I have no idea what the book's about. I'm gonna check it out, see if it's worth reading issue 2. So yeah. And then better late than never, we have the Star Wars Force Awakens number 1. Which is basically just the movie in comic book format. So I'm going to give that a read just to see how well it reads. But yeah, there were some titles that I didn't get a chance to pick up to bring home, and that's Archie number 9, Black Road number 3, Deathstroke number 19, Department H number 3, Nighthawk number 2, and Scarlet Witch number 7. Hopefully Thursday I'll get a chance to read through some of those while I'm at the shop working. Or hopefully I'll get to read them Monday. We'll see. I did end up getting a t-shirt that came in this week. I'll open this bad boy up for you to check it out. So I know a lot of shops don't carry t-shirts, or maybe yours is one that does. I end up just browsing through previews to check out what is there, and I always go through the t-shirt section, and I always sometimes get in trouble. I have a ton of t-shirts. But this is a Harley Quinn one with the new haircut in the comic. And they got the tools from behind her, like the character Red Tool. Awesome shirt. Can't wait to sport it. Awesome stuff. There was a trade paperback that came out today that I wanted to pick up, but didn't snag it up. But hopefully I'll be getting it soon. And that's the Star Wars Epic Collection, The Rebellion, Volume 1. Collects the stuff from Dark Horse. Yeah, it collects the Brian Wood Star Wars and a couple other things, so I'm looking forward to that, to see how they put it together. So yeah. What else? What am I doing now? Oh yeah, DC Rebirth previous week. So I'm going to talk for a minute about last week's Rebirth titles and what I thought of them. The Rebirth titles that came out last week were Batman number 1, Green Arrow number 1, Green Lanterns number 1, Superman number 1, and we also got Titans Rebirth number 1. So starting at the top, Batman number 1 was awesome. The best book I read last week. It was a really good book overall. It flowed very well, had action, just a really solid number 1 to catch your interest and make you really want to read issue 2. So if you haven't had a chance to, to pick it up or read it, I highly recommend Batman number 1. Tom King. His Rebirth issue was a little weird, but that's Tom King. So, but issue 1 knocked it out of the park. Green Arrow number 1 was okay. It's a little jarring going from Jeff Lemire to, I can't remember who they did after Lemire, but that was a really solid run after Lemire as well. And it's been really jarring going to this Oliver Queen and this version, or not necessarily this version, but this Green Arrow that we're getting now. Him and Black Canary have this kind of FWB relationship. I don't even know if it's FWB. I think it's more like team up with benefits. Yeah, and it's the art style's not something that really is up my alley. So of the Rebirth number ones and of the Rebirth of the number ones coming out, Green Arrow's been the weakest for me. Green Lanterns was interesting. You can definitely tell John's kind of guidance is off of the book. The Green Lantern's Rebirth issue had John's on it, and you could really see John's influence and his guidance in that book, but you kind of lose it with this issue. It's not a bad issue. It's good. I enjoyed it for the most part. It's made me curious to see what else is going to go on with Green Lanterns, so they accomplished something with it. So it wasn't terrible, and I'm going to keep with it. The Superman number one as the next one on the list that came out, and oh my gosh, that was amazing. Tomasi knocks it out of the park with Superman. It's been a while since I've really read a Superman comic and been like, yes, I like Superman, and Tomasi has done a really good job with this book. I'm, as a father myself, I kind of relate more to this book in the sense that we're seeing Clark and his son Jonathan and his with his wife Lois, and kind of that interaction, and we got a sense of that from Tomasi doing the Batman and Robin stuff in the New 52, and overall I think that we can expect good or great things from Tomasi, especially with the Superman book. So I was really happy with that one. And then finally we had Titans Rebirth. Now I'm not a big fan of Titans. Not a big fan of New Teen Titans. This one ties in with what happened with the DC Universe Rebirth and also Flash Rebirth. So if you're curious about that whole interaction, yeah, you'll probably want to check out those books. But overall, I wasn't too impressed with it. I can't even remember what happened in it, to be honest. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't something that really caught my attention. I'll try reading the issue 1 and possibly going into issue 2 and stuff, but I don't know if Titans is going to stick with me. Teen Titans from the New 52 didn't stick with me, so we'll see. If you like Titans or Teen Titans, let me know. Leave a comment down below about why you like it, or why you hate it. I don't care. Just, for me, it's just not up my alley. So yeah, so that's it for the pull list. Thank you again for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Again, you can also leave comments down below, your pull lists that you're getting this week. Any other general comments, if you have any questions, I try and answer them and be on top of it, but being a father of 2 and a husband and moving and work and all that, I barely get any time. But I do try and check those out and respond. And to those of you that do, thank you. You can listen to me on the Comic Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 266. We had a guest on, Julian Titus from the Nerds Without Pants podcast. Awesome guy. It's the second time he's been on. Really fun stuff. He asked us a really interesting question about TV and comics and oversaturation. So those are the hints I'll give you. But if you want to check that out, it should be up now. You can go find that at www.geekbox.net or comicsconspiracypodcast.com, I think. Yeah, just go to geekbox.net. It's there. Or you can find us on iTunes. If you like the podcast and you want to help support it, we do have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/comicconspiracy. So for as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting and getting stuff and all this great stuff. We do appreciate all of our backers on Patreon, and yeah, we've officially hit the tier where we have to give random picks. So the random pick that I picked this week was Suicide Squad's Most Wanted, Deadshot and Katana number 6, because it's the final issue of the 6-issue miniseries, and I've overall enjoyed it, every issue, and I can't wait to finish it out. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can go to conspiratorbrock.com to see an actual list of all of the stuff that I talked about on this video. And yeah, I need to get this posted, and I think I'm probably going to play some more Last of Us tonight. I got the remastered edition on PlayStation 4, so I'm going to go do that. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.